The steel cuffs clinked sharply around her wrist as the officer pulled them tight, ignoring the silent gasps from the crew. No one had expected this. Not even the woman now seated, no, restrained, in the leather-lined seat of her own private jet. Her name was Sylvia Brooks, and she wasn't just a passenger. She owned the aircraft. She owned the airline. And in a matter of seconds, she had been handcuffed like a criminal. Before we continue, if you are watching our video for the first time, you're highly welcome to your favorite channel, Elliot Stories. Please bless and support us by hitting that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell to get notified for more heartwarming stories coming your way tomorrow and never to miss any. Share to friends who love stories filled with twists and good morals, and also to loved ones who love respect, equity, and justice no matter the cost. Where are you watching from? Please tell us in the comments. We love seeing how far our stories travel. And to other beautiful and hard-working YouTubers, let's interact in the comment section. I hope to see you soon. We sincerely appreciate our unique constant viewers, our highly esteemed subscribers, lovely new viewers, and our first-time subscribers for being part of our daily growth. Sylvia's palms sweated against the cold metal. 2 uniformed TSA officers stood on either side of her. She looked straight ahead, her expression unreadable, her jaw clenched. Moments earlier, she'd simply boarded her jet for a routine business flight to Chicago. Now, without warning or explanation, she was being treated like a criminal. Please cooperate. We're following federal directives, the taller officer said, though even he looked uncertain. Directives based on what? Sylvia's voice was low, steady. This is my plane. My airline. You don't even know who I am. We were told an anonymous tip suggested potential criminal activity involving a high-level female executive on this flight, the officer replied awkwardly. Did the tip also mention I'm a single mother who built this airline from scratch after being kicked out by my own family? Did it mention the 500 employees I support? Or the scholarships I fund? There was silence. A heavy one. The other passengers, mostly her junior staff and assistants, sat frozen. Some looked away in guilt, others simply stared. The humiliation was sharp, but Sylvia's eyes never dropped. Not even when she was escorted off the plane at gunpoint. Cameras clicked. Phones recorded. No one stepped forward. No one asked why. Hours passed. Sylvia was held at a secure holding facility, not even formally arrested. Just detained for questioning. Her assistant, Bernard, was finally allowed to speak to her, his face ashen. They had no warrant. No real probable cause. Just a call from an anonymous source claiming your plane was transporting unauthorized assets. That's all it took. She didn't speak. She simply nodded. Then whispered, "Where's the footage?" "Already online," Bernard said, swallowing. "The public is divided. Some people think it was racial profiling. Others are defending the officers." Sylvia leaned back. She understood how this worked. Damage control first. Then strategy. Then justice. She was released after 12 grueling hours, without charges. Her legal team had uncovered the source of the anonymous tip, a disgruntled former employee who had been fired 2 weeks earlier for fraud. The information had reached the wrong ears and triggered a full-blown embarrassment for federal authorities. Still, Sylvia said nothing publicly. Not yet. 3 days later, she held a press conference. Dressed in a navy suit, hair tied back, no makeup. Behind her stood her legal team, her HR director, and a handful of employees who had once remained silent. "To those who think success shields us from injustice," she began, her voice strong, "let my story be a reminder. I was handcuffed and humiliated in my own aircraft, not because of a crime, but because of someone else's fear of what I represent, a black woman in power." She paused. Let the silence breathe. But this story isn't about revenge. It's about reform. It's about accountability and education. Then she did the unexpected. She asked for a private meeting with the 2 TSA officers who had escorted her off the plane. The meeting was tense. The officers, now suspended pending review, walked in stiffly. One had avoided interviews. The other had tried to defend his actions on social media but faced intense backlash. Sylvia walked in alone. "You followed a protocol based on a lie," she said calmly. "But protocol doesn't excuse injustice." The younger officer, Davis, fidgeted. We didn't know who you were. We were told to act." "That's the problem," she replied. "You acted without discernment. Without humanity. They expected fury. Instead, she offered something else. A second chance. She paused. I want both of you to undergo diversity and ethics training through my foundation. Afterwards, you will serve in my airline security department. You'll learn what it means to protect with understanding, not just obedience. They were speechless. Why? Officer Nguyen finally asked. Because anger only lasts so long, she said. But change, that lasts a lifetime. The internet was set ablaze again, this time, by admiration. People were stunned by Sylvia's grace. The two officers joined her company's security oversight board 6 months later, leading national campaigns on ethical response and racial bias mitigation. The twist no one saw coming. Officer Davis later saved one of Sylvia's nieces during a fire at a company retreat. He had become a part of the family. Even more surprisingly, the disgraced former employee who made the anonymous call, Tasha Monroe, was sentenced to 3 months in a federal correctional program but later requested to meet Sylvia. Everyone expected her to decline. She didn't. Sylvia sat across from Tasha in a community rehab center. You almost ruined me, Sylvia said plainly. I know. And I'm sorry, Tasha whispered, unable to meet her gaze. You were angry because you were caught stealing, Sylvia added. But I also failed to see your struggle. I failed to help you grow. Tasha sobbed quietly. I want to help you rebuild, Sylvia continued. But on one condition, you work in the community. You educate young people on accountability. And you earn your redemption. Tasha nodded slowly. Thank you, for not giving up on me. 2 years later, Sylvia's airline was listed as one of Forbes' top 10 ethical companies. The officers she forgave were now national speakers. Tasha ran a youth mentorship program under Sylvia's foundation. The story that began with handcuffs ended with healing. And Sylvia, she continued to fly, but not just in jets. In purpose. In grace. In power. Moral lesson. This story reminds us that justice is not just about punishment. True justice uplifts, reforms, and gives room for growth. Sylvia Brooks showed us that forgiveness isn't weakness, it is a weapon stronger than revenge. Let society learn to lead with wisdom, not impulse. With compassion, not fear. This story was humbly crafted and brought to you by your favorite channel Elliot Stories. Catch you on the next one. Huge appreciation from Elliot Stories.